It's a pretty ugly Bitcoin candle right there. That red candle. Still 7 hours left on the daily candle. Nobody said this was going to be easy. Nobody said it was going to be easy. At least I've never really seen anybody say it's going to be easy. Bitcoin dipping. Altcoin charts not looking much better, but I put it in the thumbnail. It's bullish. I'm not trying to offer hopium for anybody. I'm not even trying to offer hopium for myself. I'm just tracking the data. Everybody, please hit the subscribe, hit the like on the way in. If you're in the live stream, I appreciate you cruising through. And if you're a replay viewer, please feel free to hit the timestamps and cruise around the video. We're going to look at Bitcoin charts. We're going to look at altcoin charts. We're going to look at Bitcoin dominance. And we're really just going to cruise around and just kind of talk about, different altcoins, maybe some altcoins people in the live stream are looking at, all that good stuff. So thank you so much for cruising through, and let's just jump into the video. Want to start with a couple things. Here's what's going on right now. The entire crypto market has seen over $200 million in liquidations in the past hour. And this was not long ago. This was posted. These things in bull markets, you don't like to see it, but at the end of the day, they end up being the bullish momentum that we need in a bull market to continue higher. And, that's one thing we're going to talk about in this video. This is Bitcoin on the weekly chart. A lot of people are getting frustrated with crypto because it's just like everybody wants that quick parabolic move. Everybody wants their altcoins. I know there's a lot of you out there. I see the comments. You're very close. You're very close to like life-changing gains, life-changing moments. I know you are. And it's kind of like you're like, man, it's like a tease, crypto markets right now. So want to go over this. Posted this yesterday, 2025, just starting. We're 7 days in. Trump won. Trump's going to withdraw U.S. from the WHO. Altcoin season just triggered. RFK Jr. going to ban the poison in our foods. U.S. going to buy 1 million Bitcoin. Trudeau just stepped down. Free speech winning. And there's more. There's so much more. It's ridiculous. But I'm trying to just illustrate really briefly. This is a crypto video. There's the pendulum that is swinging right now. And this momentum shift is just beginning on a macro scale. And I think that's something that we really need to keep in mind as we start digging into the charts and in this bull cycle. Bitcoin now trades at 100,000 again, and we're still yet to see any euphoria. 100,000 Bitcoin is not the top. It's the calm before the storm. Bitcoin right now, as I do the video, no longer above 100,000. This was yesterday when I posted that. But here's where we are. We're in a consolidation, and I really I do want to get into the technicals of it and just discuss, what this move is, what it could turn out to be. And so appreciate you all in the chats. I see you out there. So here's the deal. I'm going to, in this video, probably a few times, I'm going to show clips of previous videos because the technical setups are really coming into play, and showing the clips and re-showing, what we've been anticipating is very helpful to sum up the context of where we are right now, as well as just anybody out there that's just been trying to figure out technical analysis and learn technical analysis. I think it's really helpful as well. So I'm going to show a few clips in this video. I want to start with a kind of a Bitcoin clip. This is probably the most important one as it relates to crypto markets right now. We're approaching around 2,000 live stream viewers. I appreciate you out there. Please smash that like button for me right now if you're entering the live stream. And let's take a quick look. This is from, it says a month ago, November 26th. This is over a month ago, back in November. Check this out. Let me remove that. Here's the left shoulder. Here's the head. Here's the breakout of the neckline. And then just a throwback to the pattern itself is always in play. That's into the 70s. That could be something that happens over the course of the next few weeks, month, whatever, as we do transition into 2025. And then we get our next move up, parabolic bull run. So this is the deal with this. This is why this is brutal. It's really brutal. It's so bullishly brutal. That is the best way to put this. And the reason why is because the setup that Bitcoin has delivered to us for this bull cycle, and this is the macro-minded perspective here. The pattern that Bitcoin has delivered to us, multi-year, is unbelievably bullish. There's not been a more bullish Bitcoin pattern. And there have been some really nice structures over the years, right? There's last cycle. There's never been such a nice pattern for Bitcoin, but it's brutal. The reason why it's brutal is because it's multi-year. And with patterns, whether it's a bullish or bearish pattern, there come really big technical moves that aren't guaranteed to happen, but oftentimes they do. And in this case, and in the case in which I was talking about in this video, it's the move for a potential throwback to the pattern. This is something that happens all of the time in crypto, whether we're on a 4-hour chart or in this case, a weekly chart, we see this happen. And so what I've been talking about a lot is we got the breakout out of the neckline as the potential for a throwback to the pattern. That's where the brutal comes in. So it's bullishly brutal, incredible bullish setup and awesome targets to the upside, the upper end of the target to around 300,000. I'm not saying that's the absolute target. I'm not saying that's my prediction, but I'm just saying there's a really nice range of around $300,000 to $130,000 for this bull cycle. But with it comes, because it's a multi-year move, huge move, we could have multi-week, multi-month consolidation and setup to get ultimately to the final destination, the bull top. And so that's where the brutal comes in. And, I think this is just me speaking. This is for me. I have to, people call me bearish a lot or, say that I like to talk about dips a lot because I talk about things like this. But the reason I've been talking about this move for so long is because over the years doing these videos and tracking all of these patterns, no matter what the time frame, it really never matters what is going on, like from a headline standpoint. It's like I've seen the consistency of the technicalities and the technical moves and the rules. They've happened so often. And, we're always aware that it's not guaranteed. We're not guaranteed to get the throwback to the neckline, but we know where it is. It is in that $80,000 range, the upper 70s, and it's been in play for weeks. And it's been this case where it could be a multi-week kind of consolidation, multi-month consolidation before continuation. So I wanted to mention that. But kind of going into now the short term, we can kind of really start dissecting and trying to evaluate, well, what's going to happen next. And I saw this is a Cardano post, but it kind of, for me, as I was doing the charting for Bitcoin, it's like it applies to crypto in general, but the Bitcoin chart we're about to look at, ADA holders thought process right now. And you have kind of this like structure happening, and it's like, man, we're either cruising higher or we're cruising lower. And it's like such a contrast between the two. And that's why I said at the kind of the beginning of the video, I know there's so many of you are out there right now, when you're looking at these charts, you're like, just give me that next leg up, that next parabolic. I've waited years for this moment. You're like at the precipice of this life-changing moment, and it is teasing a lot of people. But on the Bitcoin chart, this is what we're looking at, and this is kind of why I kind of, just thought of that. There's just general consolidation, and now we have this this lower high that just got put in, and this is something we were talking about a lot lately. And I don't know. I mean, you can kind of put this one or two ways. You can probably put a symmetrical triangle. They're not as brutal looking, but I think we're going to be more honest about this consolidation at the lower end. I would say more of a descending triangle. But either way, you can see we're approaching the apex on the daily chart. But what I talked about most recently was this, and this is kind of in regards to all of crypto, would be that swing high that we had for Bitcoin in mid-December to swing low. It's this lower high Fibonacci. And if you've been watching my videos, my live streams, whatever, in recent days, this is exactly what we've been talking about. We're going to see it on the altcoin charts too. It is no surprise that this lower high ended up being resistance right now. And so right now what we have Bitcoin doing, besides putting in structure, and this is nice structure, by the way. Bitcoin, if you remember, was going crazy, and now we're just pulling into this sideways consolidation, and it's going to give us different pieces of structure, whether you want to chart a descending triangle, a symmetrical triangle. Everybody's going to chart it differently, but we have the lower high Fibonacci that was put in, and we also have the consolidation of the 20 and the 50. So in the very short term, if we want to get a sense of maybe we could get some, maybe this red candle doesn't turn into a very bearish move, right? We're at the immediate support now. So on the very short term, we have an area to watch. And what I've been talking about is the 20-day just crossed below the 50. And usually when that's the case, we don't see Bitcoin automatically after all that consolidation down, automatically just moon, right? Typically, there needs to be more consolidation of the moving averages. And this is what I've been discussing on all the charts. Just allowing the 20 and the 50 to just kind of do their thing to really get that pivot that we want, where the 20 is above the 50 again and Bitcoin's putting in higher highs and higher lows to continue. That takes a little bit of time. Usually it's not automatic. So that's another reason why the move that we have right now just seems most normal, right? There's consolidation, and the markets are going to play with people that are just very zoomed in on the charts and not paying attention to the long term, and not paying attention to where we are in the cycles, not paying attention to the things that are going on as we start 2025. The amount of bullishness in the air right now, even outside of crypto, it is there. And it's like nothing we've seen before in quite some time. So Bitcoin on the daily, though, you can just see, we'll watch on the short term. If we get support at the moving average areas, it would be awesome. Maybe it's sideways, and then we cruise to the upside, but we might not. And we might have to put in, test to the lower trend lines again. That could be down here around the $93,000 area to around $92,000 area. What happens there? Do we get kind of the continuation of this structure? And the bearish question that I know many people don't want to know or ask is, do we break to the downside? Now, target out of really this general structure is around $80,000. And if we're looking at that again, this plays very much into what I talked about in this video in the end of November. And that is to say, the potential for this throwback to the neckline, right? So it could be a red January. And this is nothing new. This is something that's anticipated, and it's not bearish in my view. Where we are in the cycle, it is bullish. I saw somebody in the chat ask, what do I mean by consolidation? It's over. 10K incoming. It's over. So consolidation, what I mean by it is just, Bitcoin had a really nice leg up after 8 months of consolidation right here, right? Everybody was enjoying the gains. Altcoin season starting, altcoin season triggered right here with that purple line. That's Bitcoin dominance falling basically. But all of that moved to the upside, and you can just see on the daily chart, if we check it out, Bitcoin was getting overbought, overheated. Consolidation is just cooling down, right? So in terms of the slower moving momentum oscillator, this is consolidation, cooling down, getting out of the overheated, overbought zone, and it takes time. And when consolidation happens on the price chart, we start seeing patterns and setups. And really, this is just a reflection of people. And that's why these patterns so often repeat themselves or are consistent, or it's why we're able to, create some type of, say, descending triangle and say, around 70% of the way to the apex, we get a breakout. Because after all of the squeezing and all the consolidation of moving averages into the apex area of these patterns, typically we break one way or the other. And this is really, it's not like 100%, right, win rate, but historically is incredibly consistent. And if you've watched my videos and you've checked these things, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So that's Bitcoin consolidation right now. It's really, for me, just watching the moving averages. Can Bitcoin see support right now at the 50-day? The 20-day is right around 96,600. And if not, we're gonna probably test the lower trend line here, this $93,000 range, and will support hold. Either way, everybody, I'm zoomed out on all of these charts, and I'm really looking at the bigger picture here, which is altcoin season just starting. Bitcoin, if you look at this Bitcoin chart on the weekly, zoomed out, by the way, if you just like stretch this out, do you understand? Like that was years of redistribution, an entire multi-year reset. And like you can see, we just broke out of that range. This is just the beginning. Trump's not even in office yet. We have governments racing to Bitcoin, ETFs. I don't know how else to say it, but I am completely zoomed out. I don't care if Bitcoin goes to 75,000 down to the neckline area of this inverse head and shoulders. This thing is just starting. And so that's why I started really introducing, all of these new narratives. Hyper Bitcoinization catalyst, 500,000. Digital gold revaluation around 900,000. The ceiling to floor flip zone around 250,000, because Bitcoin, I think, is going to break this upper trend line since the beginning of Bitcoin. I think it's going to flip that. So that's Bitcoin. Everybody zoom out is my point. Brian says we're not getting a red January with the Trump inauguration coming. The thing is, like, I'm so bullish on the Trump inauguration, and so many people are. And I think if you're really studying the data and studying how Trump moves and operates, you know how bullish this is going to be, not just for Bitcoin and crypto, but for a lot of different things. But I won't be so quick to say we can't get a red January, especially with, market makers, exchanges. I think they know how bullish things are looking. And I could just see them just shaking people out, just making it kind of a brutal setup, a brutal launch pad. It's possible, is all I will say. I get it, though. It is Trump inauguration is very bullish. And speaking of that, one thing I was monitoring before I even actually went live was I was looking at the volatility S&P 500 index. This is like the fear and greed index for S&P 500. And I was looking at where we are, right? So currently like around 17 on this chart. And I was like, man, what was it? Let me go back here. It was November 2020, if you remember, November 2020. Bitcoin broke the bull market doors, like right around here. So the last bull market started last cycle right around here. And I was like, oh man, we're actually we're closer to greed at this moment of the cycle. But then I went back and I was like, all right, how about not last cycle, but how about 2 bull markets ago, right? This was January 2017. That's altcoin season actually being triggered. And you can see we were actually even more towards the greed area, around 11 at that moment. And the reason why January 2017 is so important in context to where we are right now, if you've been watching my recent videos, is very simply because if you go to the US dollar, January 2017, back here, US dollar started falling. What else happened January 2017? Trump inauguration. So fear and volatility index on S&P 500, very similar. US dollar, very similar. Trump inauguration, very similar. It seems like a perfect storm to me. Again, no guarantees, but when you're following strictly data and you're just trying to find just, kind of like historical reflections that can give us a hint at the very least. We never sit here and say it's guaranteed, but can give us hints. It couldn't look any better. The dollar truly does. Maybe it has another leg up, but it's looking like it's going to be topping out soon. So let's see. And back here, I did a video the other day. Trump wanted to see a weaker dollar when he was getting ready to come into office, and you can see what happened. Are we going to get something similar? Time will tell, but it will be amazing for altcoin season. It will be amazing for crypto in general. So one thing to note that's interesting before we start talking about altcoins is if you look at the Bitcoin dominance chart during this dip, interesting, 57.65% and currently of red candle. This is telling, okay? Because we're in the middle of this dip. You can go look at Bitcoin right now, right? We just did an entire analysis on it. It's a red candle, but look at this. Bitcoin dominance as crypto as a whole, Bitcoin and altcoins are falling. Bitcoin dominance not moving up. So this is happening at a time where Altcoin season was triggered with that first leg down. We're pulling into all these moving averages, and this is a story I'm going to just continue tracking because I really do want to document and see if it plays out. But the moving averages now, just look how tight they are getting. All of these moving averages, the 20 in green, the 50-day moving average in blue, the 200-day moving average in red, they're squeezing together now. And that's most notable because if we go to last cycle, we had at altcoin season being triggered, Bitcoin dominance first leg down, and then the squeezing together of the moving averages. Look at that 20, the 50, and that ultimately led to Bitcoin dominance really starting to fall for that next leg down and that next leg up for altcoins. Are we getting ready for something similar? Can Bitcoin dominance continue kind of sideways before falling? And maybe it's February, maybe it's March, maybe it's January. I don't know. But the way that this story is playing out has been pretty incredible. And I would say the consolidation of Bitcoin dominance definitely looking very similar to last cycle. So that's something to continue tracking. Now, going over here, we'll start talking about altcoins. I posted this yesterday. Imagine not having any exposure. And I'm not really like trying to talk trash on anybody that's not in crypto. But literally, like, imagine not having any exposure to crypto because it could dip 30%, only to miss out on hundreds or thousands of percent growth it could see in the coming months and years. I mean, this is like more to myself. Like, imagine if I didn't have exposure because I look at a Bitcoin weekly chart and I'm like, man, I think it could fall into the 70s to this neckline. Like if we put aside bullish bias and we're just like, you know, if I open up any crypto or any not crypto, but any technical analysis pattern like lesson, it will say that a throwback to the pattern, in this case, the inverse head and shoulders, is in play. And so if I see that and I'm like, man, we got a big dip, altcoins could be dipping a lot. I don't want exposure to these markets. When at the same time I'm visualizing like continuing higher, that just doesn't make sense to me. And that's the way my mind works. And maybe a lot of you can like kind of relate to that. But I just want to thank Niels. Shout out to Niels for disliking my content so much that he keeps coming back for more. Shout out, Niels. Please hit that like, subscribe. You look like a broken clock. Even that shows the correct time twice a day. I love it. I love my haters. They fuel me. They really do. But I never get to call them out as much because like I don't see them in the live streams as much as it's just in the comments. But so throwback to that neckline in play, but it's the bigger picture. And imagine not having exposure to crypto and altcoins as altcoin season just triggering. So let's talk about altcoins now. And I mentioned I'm going to be playing clips of previous videos because they just set up really nice context to what we're talking about. And this was from January 2nd, 5 days ago. Really quick, check it out. Averages, you can see the total crypto market cap chart. This is altcoins. I'm just going to say you can see the altcoins, 2.5% away from the 20-day moving average and 3% away from the 50-day moving average. There's not a lot of separation. So, we might need a little convincing. We might have to pull back to the moving averages. So we see a little consolidation on altcoins as well, along with Bitcoin. We're at $975 billion market cap. But if we get support at these moving averages and then a bounce continuation to the upside, this truly could be the setup for altcoins to actually really start overperforming and outperforming Bitcoin. And we start seeing the cliff start to really. So this is pretty much everything we were just discussing, especially in relation to Bitcoin. But now on the total crypto market cap, excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum, here's what's funny about this. That was the other day. That was 5 days ago. And the market cap, even after this red candle, it's a $1 trillion market cap. And if you look at that clip, it was $998 billion market cap. So we are like in the same general vicinity. What has transpired though, and this is important, is the 20 crossed below the 50. The move happened. And we're getting that touch now to these moving averages. This is what I was talking about in the video. And you can just see the 50-day, the 20-day, around 972 billion. And it'll be interesting. Does this dip continue? This is a daily chart from where it is right now. It's like a, 3% move or so on this total crypto market cap chart, excluding Bitcoin, Ethereum. But what happens at support, at that support area? That's one thing I will be monitoring. It would just be, this would be the most bullish thing, right? We get that move to the upside, the 20 crosses below the 50, and this is what we've been talking about in all these charts, and ultimately finally flipping the 20 back above the 50. If we get support here and then continuation this early on, that is the most bullish thing. And that's really, I would say, a hopium thing, because this would be the path of least pain. Because you can see the pain is almost over, right? We have a red daily candle. We're at the moving average area right now. There could be a little bit more downside, but like if this is it and we go higher, that's not that much pain at all, especially for you know, a bull market and a consolidation that's happening right now. Now, if Bitcoin were to follow this consolidation further down into the inverse head and shoulders neckline down there, obviously, when you look at the total crypto market cap chart, excluding Bitcoin, Ethereum, it's also going to consolidate. But if we change this to a weekly chart, what does that look like? Doesn't look that bad, everybody, because we're just now after, look at this. I mean, just look at this. Bitcoin halving, altcoin season, just now getting the 20-week moving average separating slightly from the 50-week moving average. This is insane, because this is a beginning of a bull market move. Even if crypto is going to dip and we're going to meet the 20-week moving average in the 700s, maybe 800 by the time it meets it, $800 billion market cap, the setup right now on this chart for altcoin season for an insanely bullish 2025, it's just there. It's just very much there. Once the 20-day after the Bitcoin halving last cycle, you can see once the 20-day, once the green line, the 20-week started separating from the 50-week, you can see, you know, total crypto market cap pulled into the 20-week, but that separation that was forming, that lasted quite some time in that last bull market, right? So we just got that separation. I think there's so much upside for this bull market, and I don't think people are realizing how bullish things are looking right now. And that's even within context of saying this chart could dip another 20% to the 20-week moving average. There's people out there I know that just annoys them. They hate it. They hate that I say stuff like that. But welcome to reality, everybody. I said at the beginning of the video, it's not going to be easy. I'm 70% out of crypto now. I don't trust this. I appreciate the comment, because like the risk appetite for everybody is different. So props to you though if you're 30% in crypto, right? Like, but the risk is different for everybody. The risk appetite is different for everybody. You got to find your, you know, I'm comfortable. What's that thing that you're comfortable with? What's the exposure you're comfortable with? So props to you for just, you know, doing what you're doing. I have made exit videos. I'm assuming there's somebody in the chats talking about selling and taking profits, or maybe, yeah, there it is. Can you make video about your exit strategy and if you have any advices? I did one, I put it on here like 2 weeks ago. I think I did one around a month and a half ago. So check that out. So let's look at altcoins now. And, you know, as we pivot to altcoins, the main point from that first, like, I don't even know, what has that been? Half hour video. That first half hour video, my main point is this: zoom out. Allow January to be a red month. And so we can take that into altcoins. And everybody, before I do, I just want to give a shout out to the sponsor of today's video, crypto.com. I have here, I keep it on my phone, crypto.com Visa card. I don't know about you. And speaking of, somebody's asked me about exit strategies. This is actually, I mean, it's not part of my exit strategy, but this really helps me mentally. The crypto.com Visa card, you can use this. Basically, it's connected to your crypto.com app. Go download it, get $50, start trading in the app. Get this card. You can get rewards as you're spending off of this card. So I say a lot, like I haven't started like taking exit gains right now, but this helps me kind of mentally just reward myself a little bit. Like if we're going out, going to dinner or something, spending a couple $100s or something, it just feels good to just use a little crypto as it's been going up, just to like buy little things like that. But crypto.com absolutely making moves. Their app is awesome. If you haven't used their app, please go download their app and start using it. And shout out to crypto.com. Appreciate you sponsoring the video. Appreciate all you're doing in the crypto space. So let's do altcoins now. I'm going to be glancing over, just checking out what you all are looking at. February is green. Do some ADA analysis. I guess I'll start with some ADA. Interesting. I see some people, I pulled 25% out of alts and bought Bitcoin. It's interesting that right now people would be buying Bitcoin, and it's totally cool. Like I love seeing what others are doing. But for me, I'm like looking at this Bitcoin dominance chart and I'm like, man, it looks like we're going to have one of these moments from 2017, Bitcoin dominance, meaning it's going to fall. This moment from 2021, meaning Bitcoin dominance is going to fall. It looks like that's what's getting ready to happen. So moving altcoins to Bitcoin right now, for me, in my opinion, and listen, I could be wrong about it all. I think it's way too early. I think altcoins are about to absolutely destroy Bitcoin in terms of gains in 2025. Because if it's a bullish 2025, if we get Bitcoin US Reserve and we get all these talking points coming out of the administration, the Trump administration, that we haven't even realized yet, if Bitcoin pumps to 150, right? I can tell you one thing. Let me just, if Bitcoin, let's just say, look at that, 63% gains to 160. If Bitcoin makes that move, altcoins will be doing way more than 63%, is my point, to put it a different way. Just want to say that. That's my thoughts. All right. I want to start with ADA. This is a nice little piece of Cardano news for all you Cardano ADA holders out there. Cardano has been added to the Grayscale Digital Large Cap Fund. It's notable because it was removed back in April. I don't know if you remember that or not, but that was a bummer. Because it was awesome that ADA was in there, and then it was removed. And now it's back in there. The ADA wave is coming. You can see ADA right there listed now. And it seems like it was like a quiet thing. I don't even know if the headlines are covering this. I can tell you one thing. When ADA was removed, the crypto media loved that. The headlines were all over the place, I think. Now that it's added back, not sure if they're going to pick it up or not. But it is bullish, everybody. Cardano ETF is imminent. I think it's going to happen. And I think it's very good for Cardano. I think some people will argue, do we really want an ETF? Yeah. 100% we want a Cardano ETF. 100% we want institutions buying and marketing Cardano. Yes. Let's do some Cardano analysis, and we will start with, I think, a very helpful clip from end of December. Check it out. Really is the swing high that we just had, like $1.30 to swing low. And you can see this green rectangle. That is the lower high Fibonacci. I would have really liked to, at the very least, see ADA make a move to that range, the lower high Fibonacci. That would be a nice bounce off of the 50-day. It would be a move through the 20-day even at like $1.03. So ADA keeps moving. There's our breakout out of this upper trend line of this wedge. But what happens at that moment if ADA makes that move to that lower high Fibonacci? Are we getting kind of consolidation back down? You can see how this volatility can really drive a lot of people crazy. So that was 93 cents, December 24th. Here's the move so far. And again, this is why I'm saying I do charts because it helps me visualize these things. And it's not a predictor. It's just because humans are behind these patterns. Humans and emotion are behind the resistance levels, the support levels, everything. And so it's not a prediction, but here's December 24th when I did the video. We've made the move. There's the lower high Fibonacci. And now we're currently consolidating. We've not even gotten the throwback to that pattern yet. But this is exactly the move I wanted to see. December 24th, we're doing the video. And from swing high to swing low, you can see there's that lower high Fibonacci. The 786 around $1.20 did not get there. The 618 was the true resistance area around $1.10. Just look at it. This is a daily chart. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days of perfect resistance at the lower high Fibonacci. We had a nice little wick over, I guess this was like overnight. And what a fake out. So ADA essentially went from within days, 84 cents to $1.14, $1.15, and currently $1.03 and consolidating. So it's very simple. Like for me, what I'm looking for right now is pretty much what I'm looking for, what we just discussed on the total crypto market cap chart, not on this weekly. This is the altcoin chart, but on the daily. And it's kind of like, are we going to get, at the very least, sideways support at the moving averages? That would be my question for ADA. Is there going to be support here at these moving averages? If we look at the momentum oscillators, a couple things happening right now. Slower moving momentum oscillator has not gotten overbought, right? We're kind of in the middle, consolidating down. What will happen at this moving average line for Cardano? But I think the bigger thing I'm watching is the stock RSI. How is that going to operate, right? We can be in this moment where, yes, we're overbought on the quicker moving momentum oscillator, but it can just kind of hang out here as ADA explodes. I just want to mention that to you. Just because we're overbought doesn't mean we're coming right back down. Perfect example would be back here when we had the breakout. If you all remember, in November, ADA finally breaking out of its like multi-year consolidation at 30 cents, breaking out. What was the stock RSI doing? It got overbought, first leg up, consolidated, and it just kind of just hung up there, right? As it went higher and higher. And even as it was putting in the ultimate swing high around $1.30, you can see it was getting oversold, right? So the way in which the stock RSI consolidates, it's helpful, but it's not, you can't use it from like this singular perspective. We have this exit of consolidation on the RSI. The slower moving momentum oscillator is way more reliable. We get this pop to the upside. Now I'm just looking for some type of higher low for ADA. So from the structure standpoint, first area of support that I'd be watching for ADA would be the 50-day around $1, the 20-day around 94 cents. That's the range, the first range of support. Maybe we trickle down into that, and then we're giving another test to the upside, right? What happens at this upper trend line now? This is an upper trend line now. So that upper trend line, you can see maybe we make our way to $1.08, $1.09. Will we break out? Or is it going to continue falling? But ultimately, if this entire support of the moving averages fails, it is what we talked about pretty much in this video in December. Move to the Fibonacci, rejection all over the place, and then a throwback to the pattern itself. And if we go to the chart now, just to give you a sense of where the pattern itself is, the upper trend line of this falling wedge around the 80s once again. And if you don't think it's possible, and if you think that's bearish for Cardano's bull market, then I don't know. Go look at other bull markets, because it's just normal, right? So the consolidation that we have right now might just make us wait longer. Usually bear markets start when no one expects it. The scary thing, I want to point out this comment, is the scary thing about that is historically, if you go look at Bitcoin chart, this is what's scary. The opposite of what you're saying has happened. Bear markets have started almost exactly at the same time every cycle. And the thing is, so have altcoin seasons and bull markets. And right now, we are very far from historically where a bear market would start. So I just want to point that out, because, if you look at time frame, bear markets start like almost on schedule every time. Short-term consolidations, mid-term consolidations are very much in play for Bitcoin. It's what I kind of talked about in the first half of the video. And it's what we've been talking about for a while now in relation to the inverse head and shoulders on the Bitcoin chart. Throwback to the neckline. So that's ADA. Alt season won't come until May. I think altcoin season kind of has started, right? If you look at Bitcoin dominance chart. But to piggyback on what you're saying there a little bit, like I think this first move when altcoin season started last cycle, I think that kind of started. But I think this moment is I don't know if it's what you're referring to, but that's kind of what I'm thinking. Altcoin season probably won't come until May, this moment until May. I don't think it's going to be that long until May, but I certainly don't think it needs to be January. And I think that's what a lot of people are kind of like, man, Trump's being inaugurated this month. Things are looking bullish. It's time for altcoin season. It's time for just explosive move on altcoin season. Bitcoin dominance to fall. Usually when people are that keen for that move, usually it doesn't happen. And the markets just make people wait even longer. And we see more liquidations happen. Like that's typically what I've seen over the years. BTC sitting at 97,000 and people are bearish. It's crazy. I agree, man. I don't know. Maybe we're crazy, but Bitcoin's at $97,000. $97,000. I remember doing videos. Bitcoin's $4,000, and it feels like it was just yesterday. And Trump's about to buy up a bunch of Bitcoin for US. I don't know how you can zoom out and be bearish. Kind of curious about this comment. I want to see if I can. I don't know what Fibonacci is talking about, but $618. So if I look at the right shoulder swing low to the swing high, we have this Fibonacci. I don't know if this is the one you're talking about, but then we chart that. I don't know if you're kind of referring to this, but I mean, that could absolutely be in play. Maybe Bitcoin wicks down to the neckline, touches that 618 higher low Fibonacci right between the 20 and the 50 week. Maybe. I don't even know if that's the exact Fibonacci you're looking at, but that could be interesting. But yeah, higher low on Bitcoin. And everybody, I know I'm talking a lot about this throwback. It's not like it's guaranteed to happen. I just want to say that. So that's Bitcoin on the weekly, and here's Bitcoin on the daily. We're going to just continue monitoring the daily consolidation because we could very much get continuation to the upside. It's just be aware. There's the neckline down there. Not that big of a move. If you look at this on the daily, like it's nothing. It's really nothing. If you look at the 8 months of consolidation that Bitcoin had leading into this first leg up, a fall to that area is nothing. If you just look at everything that happened in here. And I meant to actually do this. I wanted to plot this kind of swing high into all of that consolidation, and I wanted to put it over here and just pose the question, not because I think this is what's going to happen, but what if this is what the bull market looked like? Something like this. Obviously not exactly the same, right? But maybe this goes higher than 173. Maybe it's, maybe we're touching 200. Bitcoin's touching 200. Here's our end of bull market speculative area, October 2025. But what if the bull market, what if it just looked like this? And during this period, actually altcoins were outperforming Bitcoin. But how brutal. And I just want to say, I don't think this is how the chart will play out. I don't think we're going to see 8 months of consolidation this year in 2025. We are in the golden year of the bull in the 4-year cycles. I think it's a bull market year. I don't think it's going to look like this, but I'm just saying, what if it did? Are you bearish? Are you bearish? If by the end of the year we're approaching $200,000, but in most of the year we're sideways, are you bearish? I'm not. It'll be annoying. The videos and live streams won't be as fun. I'll tell you that much right now. So that was Bitcoin. That was ADA. All of the charts just looking so on pace, on track in a bull market. As far as bull market consolidation goes, I think it's very bullish. That's why I have my thumbnail bullish. So targets for ADA of support, I should say, is $1 to 93 cents, 94 cents. These moving average areas. That's the first area of support. What happens there for ADA? We'll monitor. We'll see. ADA is right above the first area of support. So let's see what happens as we continue through the week. Want to go over XRP, look at some XRP charts, and then we'll look at some other altcoins. I'm just trying to glance over and just see what you all are talking about, what other coins you're looking at. But check this clip out. I just saw this.
One you like is Ripple. You said it is the coin to be looking at right now.
Absolutely.
Why?
Okay, so Ripple.
I don't know if she meant to sound like, did you hear how she was like, why? Like, I don't know if she meant to sound like that or if she was just trying to sound interested. But I think a lot of people look at crypto like that. Like, why? What are you doing? Are you crazy? Listen to what he says.
Actually was the second largest coin prior to the SEC's investigation of them. They did this really weird lawsuit against them. And basically, the Ripple's going to be the track that everything's going to be running on in the future. So they created their own stable coin right now.
Okay.
And Bank of America, like I said, they were doing 100% of their internal transactions. They've got 83 different patents on it. And there's some incredible stuff that's going to be coming out. So
These cynics, though, tell me, only put as much in this space as you're willing to lose.
I just want to, I want to play this part, but what he just said is so bullish. Bank of America, like I said, is doing 100% of their internal transactions. They have 83 different patents on it, and there's some incredible stuff coming out soon. But listen to this next part, and then we'll look at XRP.
Effectively, as of now, some people say it feels like a casino.
Mm-hmm.
Do you agree with that?
It's the best example I have is this. Don't not get involved with something. Do whatever you would do for a nice weekend away with your spouse.
Okay.
And instead of doing that weekend, maybe put that in crypto. Here's what I'll tell you, 3 to 5 years from now, you either made some real money or you just lost one weekend together. Not a big deal.
I know, but I could have had that one you like is Ripple. You said it.
I just think that is so much. It's so applicable to retail in general. Like he's saying, and I think he's saying about XRP, I think, but I'm just applying this to all of crypto. Like, don't spend more than you can afford to lose. But if you're doing things, or you're going to go buy, like, I don't know, a TV, or you're thinking of going on vacation, instead, take that money, because you'll get sick of the TV in 2 weeks. You'll forget the vacation in 2 weeks. Just take it and put it in crypto. It's a zoomed out mentality is what it is. And I feel like a lot of retail does not have that. Lost one weekend, not a big deal. I mean, but it could set your retirement, is what he's saying. It's insane. So here's XRP. I love charts like this one during all of this consolidation that we're getting. And man, we just looked at some really bullish data. We got ski. So we have a lot of ski holders out there. I'll look at some ski charts, dog charts, but I'll look at Chainlink as well. But the consolidation on something like XRP, besides that fundamental data we just looked at that clip, it's just so good. So currently, as with every altcoin chart right now, what's happening at these 50 and 200-day moving averages? I want to say one thing. Trying to think. I don't know if XRP has a good. It's actually not even bad, but bull market consolidations. Okay. Here's last bull market when XRP was under attack by the SEC. By the way, it still performed. It still did something. It's not like it just was doing terrible. Here's altcoin season last cycle. But bull market consolidations, when you look back at it, right? For instance, imagine there was no charting data up to this moment and XRP's falling, right? It's 41 cents at the time, last cycle, February 2021. 20 days starting to just crash into the 50-day. People are getting bearish. People are thinking it's bearish. Even right here, March 2021, like, oh man, look at this huge crash. XRP, right? 33% crash. It's over. But then at this moment, $1.80 or whatever, when you're in this moment and charting the chart, you look back at all of this consolidation and it looks so obvious. But in the moment of the consolidation, there's all this fear and there's all this people that are just like, they can't fathom bullish continuation. 30% dip, it's game over, bear market here. In the middle of that consolidation, all the fear. But then when you get to the bull market breakout, you look back at the consolidation and you're like, that's the best thing that could have happened. The 20 pulling into the 50 like that, the reset on the charts. This is where altcoins are. This is what's happening. People are getting bearish now. And by the way, I see it. Like I'm doing a live stream. I see it in the comments. I see it on my comments on Twitter or on X, on YouTube. People get bearish. But I'm telling you, this consolidation is so necessary. And maybe we go lower. Maybe the 20 needs to fall a little bit below the 50, right? On the XRP chart. It's pretty cool to see. It hasn't even happened. But maybe we go lower. I don't know how this will play out. I don't know what the consolidation will look like. But I'll tell you one thing. We know $8 to $9 target for XRP is very much in play right now. $500 billion market cap is so in play for this top blue chip. And so if we get, I just want to say this, if XRP gets a continuation at some point, whether it's from right here, whether we dip to, $1.85 and then we get continuation and this move plays out. I just want to say this. I want to put this out there. And this really applies to every altcoin chart. When we get here, we will look back at this consolidation where all the fear is and all the people are like, top of the bull market, which doesn't make sense to me, top of the bull market. And we will say, man, that XRP consolidation, that 20-day pulling into the 50, that was exactly what XRP needed to get to $8 to $9. And this is just it. This is just the way the cycles work. You can go to any chart and you're going to see in bull markets crazy volatility into the 20 and into the 50-day moving average. Let's just go to Bitcoin. Check out Bitcoin in bull markets. Look at all the throwbacks and just these consolidations into the area, into the 20 and the 50-day. Look at this. This is exactly the move. That's why those moving averages, the 20 and the 50, especially in a bull market, they're just my favorite from the very simplest of technical analysis, right? Obviously, we do patterns, we do momentum, we track a bunch of different things. But if we're just like, all right, I just want to look at one simple indicator or two indicators, the 20 and the 50-day moving average, that's where it's at, everybody. Because historically, pulling into those areas in a bull market, they're good things. They are setups for the next move higher. So somebody said, what moving average indicator do you use? Right now, like on this chart, you have the 20-day moving average in green, the 50-day moving average in blue, and the 200-day moving average in red. Let's go look at, wanted to look at dog, and then I'm going to look at ski. We'll put the two dog meme coins together. Dog is my top. I've definitely been accumulating ski though. It seems like such an obvious play on base. But here's dog, and if we look at it, I thought I had some notes here, but this move right here, very similar so far. I don't know how it's going to play out, but just really nice consolidation again. And the thing that strikes me about it is all these altcoin charts we've been talking about support at that 20 and 50. Look at dog. And you can look at this and be like, man, that's really bearish. It's below it's below both of them, right? There's not support at the 20 and the 50-day. It's below both. I just want to point something out. When Dog had the 20-day cross below the 50-day moving average back here, it was also below both. So in these volatile meme coins, it's just, I think, a good idea to anticipate more volatility, as well as zoom out and bring into context what's the narrative, what's the story. And for me, it's just Dog. It's the #1 meme coin on Bitcoin, free and fair. There could be still room to the downside. I think even in a recent video, I talked about this 200-day moving average around $470 million market cap. But either way, everybody, when this thing explodes, it's going to do so much work. And I think we're going to see hundreds of % gains within a week when it finally makes its move to the upside. So if altcoins get another leg up, Dog looks very positioned to break that $1 billion market cap finally. And actually, even as I'm charting this, it's kind of like, I know we have the cup and handle that's on here, but just look at the higher low move for Dog. It's just going to be explosive. So Dog charts looking fine, consolidating with all of crypto. We go look at Ski Mask Dog. Ski Mask Dog, I mean, if you actually look at what's funny, go look at look at that. Here's XRP chart. Very messy. XRP pulling into the 20 and the 50-day moving averages. And then you look at something like, where is it? Ski Mask Dog. Look how flat of consolidation this is. That's phenomenal looking consolidation I mean, it's $230 million market cap, but you know, it's definitely smaller in market cap than something like XRP, obviously. And it's a meme coin. So far, and I don't know if this will hold, maybe it needs a little bit of a capitulation type of action. It just hasn't happened yet. So far, this looks really good for a meme coin at $230 million market cap consolidation. Look at this. Very simple redistribution, very simple technical analysis holding strong, pulling into the 20 and 50 during this consolidation. Even now as I do the video, support at the 20-day. What's funny about crypto is we have days like today. I have a nice big red candle in my thumbnail. It's a red day. What's funny about crypto though is this. In the moment, there are a lot of people out there emotionally thinking, "Ah, man, is that it? Like, is that it? Is it over?" And the way in which, and I don't know when it will be, the way in which all of the sudden the momentum will shift back green, and that emotion all of a sudden turns into like euphoria and just like bullishness. It's crazy. So I'm mentioning that, especially in relation to Ski Mask Dog and Dog on Bitcoin. I'm mentioning that because a chart like this that actually has been, I mean, that's a phenomenal looking consolidation. If altcoins tomorrow, next week, decide we're going to go green and we are going to destroy Bitcoin dominance for the next leg down, charts like this one, Ski Mask Dog, or even this one, Dog, they're going to go crazy. I think they're going to outperform. And then the other thing is, like, you have with these two meme coins, you have the whole tier 1 narrative in play at such a really nice technical analysis area of the charts with these communities that are just organically insanely strong. Spending a lot of time talking about meme coins, but I really don't care. It is crazy how bullish meme coins are this cycle. Dude, Ski Mask Dog people, stop spamming my comments though. Phew. I have to do some moderation. I don't have mods in here right now. I'm sorry, everybody. Wow. How do they do that anyway, these people? How do they get these bots in my live streams? Why did Cardano have a quick pump, then dip? It is crazy, right? If you look at something like Cardano, Cardano was moving, getting the ADA bulls real excited. I just think it's, man, I don't know, man. I think it's just manipulation in the markets. It really is. I just really think it is. I think the market makers know the emotion that's out there and just like, they just have fun with it. Look at that. And just look at that revisit to that lower high Fibonacci on ADA. And then boom. So ADA was moving, touching around $1.15. And then all of a sudden, before you know it, within hours, 10% dip to $1.03 as we sit here today. It's crypto, everybody. It is what it is. But just as quick as they do something like this, they can do something like this. You know what I'm saying? And you just don't know. You just don't know when it's going to happen. I'm sitting here just trying to ban people. Sorry, everybody. Okay. I'm going to go look at... I think I just banned somebody. I don't think they were spamming, but they looked like they were. Let's go look at Chainlink. I am kind of curious of Chainlink. And then I want to look at Ethereum as well. Look at that. Look at that brutal hourly. We're on the hourly. That's a no-no. Let's get off that for a second. We don't need to be so zoomed in. Unless you're a short-term trader, which I'm not. So there's Chainlink. Mentioned it before. I don't know why this chart keeps, I want to save that chart. But same thing with Bitcoin, like, you know, consolidation after a breakout of the neckline of this inverse head and shoulders with the downward sloping neckline. Very normal. Again, as other altcoins, the consolidation of these moving averages, normal. Can even actually, if January is going to be, I should do a full video like, if January ends up being a red month, here's speculative moves. Because here's the one thing, everybody, on all of these charts, I don't know if you've noticed, if you've been on this live stream, but like, there's obviously upside continuation targets, but the downside targets on all of these charts, they're so nice looking. They're so normal looking, like just from a technical analysis perspective. Because, for instance, if you look at this, not perfect or whatever. They didn't put in a higher high than that right shoulder. I think this is pretty much in play. Bounce off the neckline. We can still fall to $15 for Chainlink. If we're going to have, this is like that situation, we're going to have like some type of red January, right? And that would be the neckline of this massive multi-year inverse head and shoulders. So it'd be very, very interesting. If Bitcoin's falling to its inverse head and shoulders target, Chainlink, cryptos are capitulating, people are calling the end of the bull market, when in reality, this could be like the beginning of the next leg up for altcoins. If altcoins were to consolidate like this, boom, and then Chainlink makes its way into 2025 bull market, that could be in play. And that's what I'm saying. Like, if January ended up being a red month, the targets to the downside on all of these charts, they're just there. So that's the Chainlink chart. I don't enjoy talking about dips. Like, generally, if I'm looking at this chart, this is a daily Chainlink. I just would like the chart to look like this. I know this is the bull market we all want. Okay? Right? Is that not the bull market we all want? If that's the bull market you want, smash that like button. We got almost 10,000 people in here, 748 likes. I would love to get that to 1,000 likes. But here's what's awesome. Like, this is the perfect picture of what you're not going to get. And I started the live stream by saying no one said it's going to be easy. No one said this is going to happen. It's not going to happen. If you want to get here, it's going to take dips. along the way. That's why like every chart you see that's just lines, it's like that. There's big dips. Man, that would be awesome though. That would be awesome. You want to get a dose of reality, it's kind of like you can, you know, there you go. Not obviously not the same, but you get the point. It's a long journey and it's a bumpy road. I'm still bullish because I want a bull run. I want to show you why I'm still bullish or why I'm so bullish. Like, this is why I'm bullish. It's a Bitcoin chart zoomed out. I've been doing these videos since right here, tracking cycles. Bitcoin halving, altcoin season, Bitcoin halving, altcoin season, Bitcoin halving, altcoin season. I'm bullish strictly because of data and because I know where we are in terms of cycles and I know the upside. It's not because I want to be, it's not because I want a bull run. I do want a bull run, but I'm not bullish because I want a bull run. I'm bullish because of the data. That's all. And also, how could you not be bullish when you have governments racing to buy Bitcoin? Doesn't make sense. Opium. It isn't 2021. You can't compare. I will tell you this, Mike. You're very right. It's not 2021. It's way more bullish in 2021. Way more bullish in 2021. Because I can tell you what wasn't here in the last bull cycle. A pro-Bitcoin, pro-crypto administration, pro-crypto Congress, a Bitcoin US Reserve, a Bitcoin ETF, an Ethereum ETF, governments trying to keep up with US if this happens to buy Bitcoin. So you're right. It's definitely not. Can't compare it anymore. You can't compare 2021 anymore because right now it's way more bullish. I'm missing. Everything's just in the red. Would you say now's a good time to go long 10x on ADA? Mark, I'll answer your question by saying like I would never recommend using leverage. I don't care how bullish things are looking. I mean, even in this video, I'm talking about potential for Bitcoin to make a move to the neckline, which we've been tracking for quite some time. Breakout to the upside, move to the neckline. Altcoins probably falling, Cardano falling, that 10x leverage liquidated. That's very much in play. So be very careful. Here's ADA as we're talking. $1.02 getting closer to that 50. There's a 20-day around 93 cents. Man. A lot of zoomed in, right? And none of us know how January will end up, how these altcoins will end up. There's obvious consolidation in play before the next leg up. It could be a little bit of time before the next leg up. But I think for me, I have to zoom out and you know, let this happen. Like entire crypto market has seen over 200 million in liquidations in the past hour. This stuff's going to happen. Like the markets are going to keep getting reset, wiped out. There'll be redistribution happening in all these consolidations. There'll be technical moves before moves higher. So these are all the things that are in play. Everyone's just being too impatient. We are still early. It's easy to be impatient. in this market. It really is. So many spam comments. Altcoin season by end of the month. One thing I noticed, like, isn't it crazy? Everybody's sentiment and thought, people have so many different thoughts. It's incredible. It's cool. Dan, the crypto man. Good afternoon. Gotta love a good red candle right before the parabolic move. That's what I'm talking about. Daniel Stewart. So let's see how this plays out, everybody. I appreciate all of you cruising through. Everything as far as I am concerned, when I'm looking at these charts and looking at crypto markets, I think everything's looking very normal. We just have to allow consolidation, allow dips in bull markets. I know it's not fun. And we'll see what happens. We'll see if we have a green or red January, but I really genuinely think even Q1 of 2025 is going to be bullish. I think 2025 is going to be very bullish. So if you're out there right now, please subscribe, hit the like on the way out, and turn notifications on as we continue to track these markets. I wanted to go live today. I know we go live when things are pumping. I wanted to go live when things are red, because we're here through it all. So thank you for cruising through. I will see you all in the next video. Have a good day and God bless.